welcome to the Lifestyles of the Strange and Exotic Les Miserables review and sort of kind of haul. You're in the mall, how can you not shop? Now, we just came back from watching Les Mis, and you know, there's all this Oscar hype, and like, I give two shits really, and I have seen. The first Les Mis I ever saw was the public television's airing of the 10th anniversary in concert, which was awesome. So that was the standard I held the movie up against. And it had Colm Wilkinson, Michael Ball, Lea Salonga. I wish I could remember the dude that played Javert, but he was my Javert. He was just awesome. He had the physical intensity that I would figure Javert would have, with his piercing blue eyes, but the voice too. And it was just really great. Plus, it was not quite for the story, but the actors looked like they were enjoying themselves, that it was something special, and it was just fun to be there. So that made it all more special. And Mother, not too long ago, said it was a 25th anniversary version of that they did the same thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I finally came across it and watched it. That, yeah. Yeah, Lea Salonga, instead of being Eponine, 15 years ago, she's now, the chick that gets screwed in the beginning, because that's Mother, whose name I can't remember, which is kind of weird to me. Of course, she's older and kind of makes sense, but it's just was kind of weird, but I love Lea Salonga anyway. And I liked the guy that played Jean Valjean. He made sense. Hated Javert. It was this big colored dude that just didn't cut it for me. Just vocally, and it was like, eh. You know, big bad cop, whoop-de-doo. I just didn't care for him. The funny thing was, the woman that played Madame Trinidadier, I guess you say it, was the same woman in the 10th anniversary, but she had so much fun in the 10th, but it was like, it felt like she didn't even want to be there in the 25th, you know? I mean, 25th. It's just a lot darker version of her, you know, just, I don't know what was going on. Of course, 15 years passed, I don't know. And I hated the dude that played her husband in the 25th. The 10th was Alan Armstrong, and anybody who's ever seen the second Mummy movie, he's the one who's got his hand stuck in the thing. So, you know, and he comes out with this, you know, bone for a hand. But, I loved his Trinidadier. Just cocky and silly and funny. I just loved him. So, you know, I had sort of didn't know quite what to compare it to, but the 10th was my favorite. So I go into the movie, and I like Hugh Jackman, and the funny thing is with Hugh Jackman, I saw him first when he was doing, I think it was Great Performances, in Oklahoma. I'm like, I like this guy, you know, good voice, kind of cute, great character. Then X-Men came out. And I expected Wolverine to burst into song. It was just so funny to know it was the same guy. So, but I just love Hugh Jackman anyways. I loved him in Van Helsing. I love Van Helsing. Props for Van Helsing. So he was good as Jean Valjean. I wasn't disappointed in him at all. Not a huge Russell Crowe fan to begin with. He was like a wussy Javert. He just didn't have the voice for it. I mean, the way they filmed the vocal performances, they filmed it on set as they were performing. It wasn't dubbed, you know, pre-recorded and they lip-synced, which would have gave it a lot purer sound, which I would have liked probably better, but I understand what they're trying to do. So it was different, but it wasn't like detracting from the movie any. But he just has this little wussy voice that just does not cut it for Javert, you know. But as far as, you know, the character, he did pull off Javert. And Cosette and Marius are just your run-of-the-mill, nothing special there. But Michael Ball did Marius in the 10th anniversary. He's just got an awesome voice. Just very... It's big and boastful without being in your face. Google Michael Ball. You'll find him on YouTube. Awesome. But this guy was just... I mean... In the well, I don't know, for the one person that doesn't quite understand what Les Mis is about, it's about the French Revolution and how not necessarily how it starts, but how a small group of people try to, be a part of that revolution. How, they got rid of one king, but the next king might have been King Louis, I don't remember. Louis was before that. This is in the 1800s, so it's after the American Revolution. Of course, it's during the time, like, everywhere in Europe was revolution, Russia, probably Germany, and, France, everybody was, getting their knickers in a twist. Doing no small part probably to us. It's like, hey, if they can do it, we can do it too. So, that was pretty much about that, and there's this group of, like, I would consider them, like, college, they're students, they're, college-age people, and they're, like, trying to fan the flame of, rebellion, basically, say, Vive la France. And, that's sort of, like, the big pinnacle thing there. But you have the story with Jean Valjean and Javert. Jean Valjean is a criminal. He's just trying to steal for, to save his, sister, his family, basically. And, of course, he gets caught, and that's 20 years in the clink. Spends the 20 years, he does his time and goes off, and Javert's, but he breaks his parole after he gets, he stays in with the, bishop. And if you're a fan of the original Les Mis, you're going to be happy when you see the bishop. And I'll just leave it at that. Or the, Monseigneur. But basically the bishop. At the head of the church he's in. So he makes a promise to the woman whose name I can never remember. And Anne Hathaway, yeah. I mean, I can take her and leave her, She did good in that particular role, but I'm just ambivalent about her. She has an okay enough voice, but it was just, eh. But, she has a kid, and Jean Valjean meets up with a kid, and, there's a whole storyline there. You just read the book. It's hard to, like, encompass Les Mis. It's just this. But the thing with the movie was, it's this big, epic thing. I mean, it's about the French Revolution. There's a lot of stuff going on, and, it's a big thing. But the thing that pissed me off about the stupid movie was the cinematography. Now, I ain't no Spielberg or nothing like that. But even I know a few things. And it's like, I could do better camera work than this. And I suppose it was supposed to be the effect where you're, like, right in there with the grit of the par and, being a part of the revolution, being right there, Really? The entire movie was this. No joke. I mean, most of the time you got the entire head, but it was like from here to here. There's like 3 shots. 2 was Javert on top of, I guess, police headquarters or, equivalent. And then 1 where they kind of pulled back and you see kind of, like, down on, not Paris, but, Montreal, whatever it is, that's not Montreal, but it's in French. Where you kind of see the barricade. And I think there should have been a lot more shots than that to kind of give you the scope of where you are. It's France, for crying out loud. Notre Dame. I don't think the Eiffel Tower was built at that point, but, at least give you a little more scope, that there's a bigger picture going on here, that it's not just this tiny little rebellion here, that this is a worldwide issue here. So, but I understand how they wanted to be so up close and stuff like that, but it was just constant all the way through, and it just lost the effect. It was too much of it. Just back up 2 feet. Really, not that hard. And then there's one scene between Valjean and Marius where the camera's like, and I literally started doing, it's like, and it was just that one cut. Why? There was like no dramatic piece to it, It was just weird, the camera movements. And you knew it was a guy in a Steadicam right there trying to keep up because they're doing 360s around the characters so that you could see the entire set. So there wasn't, anything like that. But it just notched it down a few for me, But the thing, some of the good points were scenes that you would expect were in there Now, I wondered how they were going to do the scene where, and I can't remember his name either, but the leader of the school, I think they called them, what, the ABC students or something like that, but the leader of the little group of rebels there, of revolutionaries, I should call them. And, of course, he's on top of the barricades, and it was, he got shot, basically, and it's a scene of him, basically, kind of like this, but the other way around, holding the red flag of, revolution. In the stage play, he does that on the barracks, where, at least in the 10th anniversary, you see, like, the students, and then they pan around, or the stage actually moves, and you see just him in that pose, holding onto the flag, or the flag is draped over him. This time, I think it lost something for the story. It should have been on the barricades, but he's like in a room and they just shot him and he just sort of falls out a window and gets stuck in the same pose. But at least it was in there. It was... yeah. Kind of lost something for me, but I don't know. But then, I've never read the book. I will say that. I have not read the book, so I don't know what's more accurate to, the actual story. Like I said, it sucked, but in a good way. It was worth the $5, I will admit that. But the thing is, movie, okay, fine. And of course I knew all the words to the song. And of course I was hoping that we would be the only ones in there so I could, like, sing along. But I'm, like, lip-syncing the words, so I'm like, eh. But this must have been, vacation day for the senior center. 90% of the people there were over 60. Probably over 70. But, you had the group down below. Then you had the one other people that were younger than me, even. There's a guy and his girlfriend. This is Les Mis. It's not a comedy. If you were laughing during something that wasn't emotionally powerful, it wouldn't have been as annoying. But it's like, you don't get it. It's like, why are you in this movie doing that? It was annoying enough, but it's like, you poor uneducated bastards, That was bad enough. And they were like 2 seats. No, actually, it was just a seat over, which kind of sucked because we hate people anyway. Then down over on Mother's side, 3 old ladies talking about something, taking something off of their heads when the previews were going, and like medical problems and just weird ass conversation all the way through. It's like, but this is the problem with these people. They're being a pain in the ass, and you're not the only ones getting pissed off. The problem is, you want to get up and, like, smack them upside the head and say, shut the hell up. But if you do, you're afraid of, doing the same thing, interrupting the movie for everybody else, even though they'd be like, yes, thank you. So it's like, you want to say something, it has to be said, but if you say something, you're doing the same thing you're saying something for. So it's like, why are you paying movies, to see a movie you're not watching? I mean, converse. I mean, at least if it's on the movie, wait till the end or during the credits or something. Why? Wait till the video or something, you stupid people. If you're gonna run your mouth during a movie, don't go. Okay? I'm putting it out there for all you who just can't shut up. I at least am alone here. I've got nobody to bother but me. And I at least know not to say anything during the movie. Unless it's like, ouch, or instinctively something like, oh. But yeah, just stop. It's bad enough if you laugh during a comedy, but you're laughing at something that's not funny. Regardless of whether it's on the screen or not, it's just kind of disrespectful. I don't know, but then, I understand the history behind the whole French Revolution type of thing. Now, did I say that? No, there it is. Now, like I said, I like kind of dressing for the theme. And the colors of France are blue, white, and red. So yesterday, I went and did my usual thing and picked up that. And of course, it's way too huge, and I just sort of wore it. It's like a jacket underneath my jacket. But it has the colors blue, white, and red. So that'll probably be just a bag. But I supported the revolution. Could have worn the red shirt to match the revolutionary shirt flag, which I almost did, but it's too short. But it's definitely history that should, educate yourself with. It's an interesting part of human history. It's in the early 1800s. It goes from like 1814 to like 1820 something, I think. And I think that might have been the same time when, the Bolsheviks were doing their thing in Russia, and, the Tsar Nicholas, the Fabergé egg dude, had his few issues there in Russia, and, it was when was the First World War? 18... But these are like the seeds of that part of the history, and then you end up in like the First World War, and important stuff. So at least think about the history behind the movie, or the book. So, but of course, then too, when you go see the movie in the mall, you end up having to shop afterwards. So, so we did a little shopping before and a little shopping afterwards, and it's still kind of the after Christmas thing. So I only have a little bitty haul. That seems to be like the theme. I did that in the last movie. So I got these in Claire's, which I thought were really cute. And I wore them too during the movie. I figured I wouldn't lose them if I put them in. And these are actual, I don't know if they're stone, but they're porcelain of some sort. So I thought they're really nifty. And I like the length too. They're nice and long. But I'll change the hook and eye to the fish hooks. Change the fish hooks to the lever clasps. And they were half off in Claire's. It was like 10 for 10, but I didn't want 10 things. And the other thing I got during our Les Mis haul was something I had seen when we went to see Hobbit, but they were only 50% off, and this was the last day that they were selling them, and it was this. So I only paid like $4, but originally it was $15, and I loved the fact that, especially for March, I haven't got through it yet, I love the look on Jazz's face. And even Cliffjumper, they've kind of got this little, especially Jazz, he's like, just got that little half smile he has. But I don't know why Bumblebee and everybody else is so miserable in the picture. And this is G1, which is awesome. And the thing that kind of ticks me off, though, they don't tell you who the bots are. But I suppose if you're picking up the thing, you're G1 fan. Anyways, I'm just looking at July, where it's Prime, but this is after the movie or during the movie, because you have Cliffjumper, Prowl, Ironhide. No, that's Prowl. Oh, who the fuck are you? I forgot to remember. That's Prowl, that's Ironhide. He's the one that changes into a helicopter. Can't remember what the heck his name is. Then you got Cup. Who are you? I can't remember. Oh, Blur. And then, of course, Prime. I do not acknowledge anything after the movie other than Beast Wars, Beast Machines, and then now Prime. See, they're just obscure bots. Again, this is from the movie, because there's the Sharticons. Who the hell are you? He's an Autobot. He kind of looks like Cup, but Cup didn't have those pointy things. Or did he have a sword? I have absolutely no idea who that is. Which kind of annoys me. I mean, even though you know, don't mess with that dude. That's just scary. Want to spend Christmas with Megatron? And this is another one that I loved this for. To have Sunstreaker in here. I loved Sunstreaker. If you watch Transformers Prime, the one who's closest in personality to Sunstreaker, because he's so vain, is Megatron's doctor. Tailgate, I think his name. No, Tailgate's an Autobot. Can't remember what the hell his name is. He's the only, like, automobile Decepticon in the higher ranks. He's like a red sports car. So he's kind of like hint of Sunstreaker, which is kind of weird in this picture. Where are you? Sunstreaker, is dirty and cracked, and of course I explained the look on his face too. I don't know what this little bot in the back is, which is so not Sunstreaker, because he's always polishing himself or he's chroming something. And I've always wondered, what are the other bots thinking when Sunstreaker's doing this? It's like, dude, we're fighting the Decepticons. why are we wasting resources on you? So yeah, this was just awesome. And of course you can tell if you've seen videos of the curtain down my puzzle that is of Autobot awesomeness. So yeah. But I like keeping these even when, the year is done. Well, I'm assuming this is 2013, yeah. It's just fun to look through. I used to collect the Star Trek ones, but it's the same pictures over and over and over again. So, but this was neat, and this was the last day that they were going to sell them. I still have no idea who you are. Are you Blue Streak? It's Autobot. Rumble. Either Rumble or Frenzy. Who is, Soundwave's little cassette dude. Megatron and Constructicon. There's Soundwave. And then Secticon. So it's a good representation of the Decepticons. Skywarp, maybe. Prime and the Autobots. Really neat portrait. I like that one. Decepticons. There's Starscream in the back. Megatron. And I get Rumble or Frenzy for May, which is my month. I wanted an Autobot at least. I didn't even get Soundwave. It was June. And I just came across something, I can't remember what it was. They actually have a Soundwave that transforms. That's like an MP3 player. $300. You can get a Prime too, and the trailer's a dock where you dock your iPod. Freaking awesome, but ain't paying that much for it. I don't care how awesome it is. So yeah, that was my Geek Fest. And the thing is, it's in the whole French colors too. Blue, white, and red. But of course, Prime's red, white, and blue. I knew when I saw it, it was going to be mine, but I'm glad I waited. I saved more money. So, that is my review of Les Mis. Worth a see. If you don't really need to see it, wait for it on video. Now, my thought is when you get the album, the soundtrack to the movie, is it going to be the same music that was in the show? The way it was all gritty and, on set type, in the moment music? Or is it going to be post-recorded so you can understand what they're saying half the time? Not sure. Something to kind of consider when you want to go look at the soundtrack. But do look into the 25th anniversary. It's Les Mis 25th anniversary, and it came out not too long before the movie because they kind of hint at the movie, and the woman that plays Eponine in the 25th anniversary is the same woman that plays Eponine in the movie, so it's a relatively new production. But definitely go back and hit the 10th anniversary. That one is just fun, and at the end, they bring out, I don't know how many people from different countries who've played Jean Valjean, and it's so neat to hear it in French, So yeah, definitely look into those two. And I guess that's it for that particular thing. Thank you all for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe if you would be so graciously kind. And vive la France!